I've lived in Scotland for 5 years, and even though I now have indefinite leave to remain, and in less than a year I will qualify to apply for UK citizenship, I've been getting letters for months, years, that are threatening to potentially put me in prison. Hiya, my name is Peter, and in 2020 I moved from Oklahoma to the west coast of Scotland. I talk about the differences in my experience between life in the United States and life in Scotland, so if that kind of thing interests you, then why don't you give us a wee subscribe. Hi buddy. Now, I know you clicked on this video to find out why I'm being threatened with potential jail time. Did I do something crazy like handle a salmon suspiciously or play ding dong ditch? Or maybe I got drunk in a pub and committed the unforgivable act of putting the milk in before the tea bag. No, what I am accused of is much, much more nefarious. I've been accused of the monstrous crime of watching TV. Let me explain. As an American, the concept of a TV license was completely foreign when I first moved here because we don't have any kind of equivalent in the States. So let me briefly explain to you what it is. A TV license is basically what funds things like the BBC, iPlayer, and the radio. The term license is kind of weird, so maybe think of it as a bit more like a BBC subscription because it lets you legally watch BBC channel, iPlayer, etc. But at the same time, it's not really just a subscription because you're supposed to have a TV license if you ever watch any live TV on any channel or platform, regardless of whether or not it's BBC content. The license also isn't just about using an actual television. If you don't own a TV, but you watch live content on your phone or tablet or laptop, guess what? You still need a TV license. I have here not one, not two, but 10 letters that I have received just this year from TV licensing. And these are just the ones that I remembered to save because I've been planning to make this video for a while. I've been getting these letters at least once a month for probably 2 years now, and there are a bunch of these that I received and just immediately chucked straight in the bin. There are roughly 28 million households in the UK, and about 12% of them do not have a TV license, which means that by my extremely rough guesstimate, the BBC spends about £1 million per month just on postage for these damn letters. TV licensing alone might be responsible for about 1% of Royal Mail's total yearly revenue. These letters do sound pretty threatening, especially if you're new to the country and don't fully understand what a TV license is or how it really works. If I remember correctly, the first 1 or 2 letters they sent me were not super threatening and more of just like a, hey, you might have forgotten, so here's a reminder that you probably need to pay for your TV license. But if you don't respond, they just start threatening you. This is the oldest letter I still have, and it already sounds a bit threatening. It starts with big, bold text, and it says, "As we haven't heard from you, an officer will visit your property soon. Dear Sir/Madam, your property is unlicensed. An officer has now been scheduled to visit this address to confirm your circumstances. We must ensure that everyone who needs a license has one. It's a criminal offense to watch or record live TV without a license on any device. This includes all TV channels like pay TV services like Sky and live TV on streaming services like Amazon. You also need a TV license to be covered for everything on BBC iPlayer. If an officer finds you to be watching, recording, or downloading TV illegally, you risk prosecution and a fine of up to £1,000 plus any legal costs and or compensation." Now, if you don't know what's going on, you might read this and be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So you have to immediately go buy a TV license or tell them that you don't need one. There's a website and a phone number you can call to tell them you don't need a TV license. The thing is, I'm pretty sure when you do that, it only counts for like a year because I have done that before. I have told them I don't need a TV license, and the letters stopped for a little bit, and then I think about a year later or so is when the letters just started up again. Once you have contacted us, we will update our records and cancel this investigation. Now, I ignored this letter, and then A month later, I got another one. Now this one is red. We did not hear from you. This address is still unlicensed. We wrote to tell you we were giving you 10 days to get correctly licensed, free from the risk of an enforcement visit. We have not had a response, so this address still does not have a TV license. Your case has been escalated to the enforcement team. You can now expect a visit from an enforcement officer. If we find you've been watching TV without a license, blah, 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 you'll have to pay a fine, etc. To stop this visit while there's still time, you need to act now. This specific letter was back in February, so 8 months ago. I didn't respond to this letter. Now, March. It starts saying, will you be in on the 2nd of April? As there's no record of a TV license, you should expect a visit from an enforcement officer. It may be on the 2nd of April or another day. You'll be prosecuted, etc. We visit around 5,000 addresses a day. Our officers visit an address every 10 seconds, day, evening, even weekends. And if no one answers, they can come back. I didn't respond to this letter either. Next letter, April. Dear legal occupier, as you have not responded to our letters yet, you have left us no alternative but to proceed with the final stages of our investigation. An officer has been scheduled to visit, and has my address, to find out if TV is being watched, recorded, or downloaded illegally. We can apply to court for a search warrant to gain access to your property. Now, keyword is can. They can apply for a search warrant, but will they? No. An officer may interview you under caution in accordance with national criminal law, and anything you say to the officer may be used as evidence in court. This is just crazy. I ignored this letter as well. Next one. Red letters again. Official notice, investigation opened. This is an official warning that we are carrying out an investigation of your address. We've asked you to contact us several times, but you have not responded. It is a criminal offense to watch or record live TV without a license on any device. Yada, yada, yada. Next letter. Now this one has, I don't know what it means, your IN0100. An IN0100 code has been issued against your address. We use it to target unlicensed homes like yours that require a visit from our enforcement officers. This letter is a formal notification that your details have now been passed to the enforcement team for your area, and you could be visited at any time, day or evening, weekdays or weekends. We need to check that you're not breaking the law. Guess what? I ignored this letter as well. This one, official notice. Please read carefully. You are breaching the Communications Act 2003 if you do not have a TV license to cover you for watching or recording live TV on any channel or device or everything on BBC iPlayer. As we still have no record of a TV license, by law we have no option but continue with our investigation. I ignored this one. Will you be in on 20th August? As there's no record of a TV license at your address, you should expect a visit from an enforcement officer. It may be on the 20th of August or another day. You could be prosecuted. We visit around 5,000 addresses a day. I ignored this letter too. Next one, official notice, investigation opened. I think they're now starting to just reuse the same letter templates. Most of these have been almost the same. It is a criminal offense to watch or record live TV without a license on any device, yada, yada, yada. Oh, at the end it says, P.S. If you have recently bought a license, thank you. You do not need to reply to this letter. So there you have it. I have a whole bunch of threats from TV licensing to prosecute me and potentially put me in jail and give me a fine over allegedly watching live TV. Now, I'm sure I'll have plenty of comments discussing the virtues or lack thereof of the TV license, and I know that they're trying to abolish it in the next few years, but regardless of what your opinion is regarding the TV license, I do want to say that it really isn't that expensive, at least from an American point of view. A standard TV license is currently £174.50 per year, or if you're old school and somehow have managed to still own a black and white TV, it's only £58.50 per year for the black and white license, which is quite a bargain. For my UK viewers, if you actually pay for and watch live TV, you probably will think that's extortionate, especially since you're already paying around £25 per month for that TV service. But let's compare that to the US, where 10 years ago, I worked for a TV company, and once again, over 10 years ago, our customers' average monthly bill was $150 per month just for the TV service alone. We didn't offer broadband or mobiles or anything else. I don't pay for or watch live TV, and I think nowadays there's a huge portion of the population that's the exact same. With how much streaming has taken over, I think the main exception would be if you're an avid sports fan, and the pricing there will also blow your mind. Here in the UK, many games, especially major cup finals or international matches, will be shown for free on channels like BBC or ITV, but there are some subscriptions that you might need to access all of the games. Sky Sports, for example, is £20 per month on top of your normal package pricing. But let's compare that to what it might be in the United States. If you're in the US and a fan of American football, you might pay almost $500 per year just for the NFL Sunday ticket, and that's on top of your probably $100 per month cost of the actual TV service. I will never understand why people like American football, especially with how expensive it can be to watch. Although if you're an American and you're a fan of real football, it might actually be more expensive than watching the NFL. Back when I worked for DirecTV, if you wanted the international channels to be able to actually watch a fair amount of football games, you had to subscribe to the international language channels. There were only like 10 of them, and they were only available as a costly add-on to your main package. So you would probably be paying closer to $200 or $250 per month just to be able to watch real football. Moving on. So now I've addressed the cost of this TV license as well as the threats I'm receiving. So let's talk about the prison time. Now, I will admit I'm being a little bit dramatic here because technically you can't go to prison over just not having a TV license, but you can be fined up to £1,000 or $2,000 if you're in Guernsey, plus legal fees, and then be sent to prison for refusing to pay those fines. Evidently, there were plans to decriminalize non-payment of the license fee, but as of now, the UK government has said it's not going to go ahead with those plans. TV licensing says they have a fleet of vans that can detect if you're illegally watching TV, but I've never seen one of them, and other than looking through an open window, I don't really know how they would be able to detect if you're watching live TV. Everyone I've talked to about the TV license isn't actually bothered about it. I would say that if you pay for actual TV service, then you really should get the TV license because I assume the TV providers share their database of customers with TV licensing, but I don't even know if that's how that works. Even though I've never had someone show up at my home to check if I'm watching live TV, and if I did, I wouldn't let them in because I don't have to. And even though most people I've talked to have never had that happen to them, tens of thousands of people are still prosecuted every year for not having a TV license. Not having a TV license is evidently the second most common crime in the UK after driving offenses. In 2024, about 50,000 people were prosecuted and about 25,000 people were actually convicted for TV license evasion. Around 75% of those that are prosecuted for license evasion are women, even though they only make up about half of all license holders, and a fifth of all criminal prosecutions against women are by TV licensing, which quite frankly sounds absurd and really problematic. Many people that do have enforcement officers show up actually accept the doorstep interrogation and let them inside, even though they are under no legal obligation to do so unless a warrant has been granted, which is extremely rare. Even though they threaten you and say they can, they almost never do that, if ever. Now, prison time is definitely a last resort that almost never actually happens. Before going to prison time, they'll use all other available enforcement methods to get you to pay the fine, like sending bailiffs or taking the money out of your wages or benefits. I couldn't find any newer data online, but from what I could find, it says that only 2 people were actually imprisoned in 2019 and nobody in 2020 or 2021. Although between 1995 and 2018, it looks like there were a total of about 2,200 people that did go to prison over it. So while my thing about being threatened with prison time is maybe a bit over the top, it is possible. I don't have a TV license because I don't need one, but if I was actually watching live TV, got convicted of TV license evasion, and then refused every attempt for them to collect the fine, it would be possible for me to ultimately be sentenced to prison. So there you have it. While it probably won't actually happen to you, you actually can go to prison in the UK over watching live television without a license. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you support TV licensing, or do you think it should be abolished? And if you don't have a TV license, but technically should, what do you think your chances are of actually getting prosecuted for it? That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and unless I decide to start watching live TV without a license, I will see you next time.